Hello and welcome back to the cronecast at the Rising Moon. My name is Elaine, and on this channel I do the Spirit Guide Monthly live every last Friday of the month. I hope you're able to join me. But I also do this, I do pick a card readings, and today's pick a card reading is one of those don't listen to it unless you're in the space to hear some difficult things type of reading. This is what is the hidden truth of this situation? What red flags am I not seeing in this situation? So by the nature of the reading, we might have a little bit of difficult news to face. Maybe not. Maybe it'll all be good news. I'm not sure, but I want people to be prepared. This is a hard truth type of reading. What truth aren't you seeing in this situation? What red flags are you missing? There's going to be an insert in a moment here where you can concentrate on the decks, see which one really calls out to you. That will be the message you're most meant to receive. It is possible that there will be more than one message for you. If that's appropriate, I will see you at the time of all of your readings. Otherwise, I will see you at the time of your reading. Welcome back. If you chose pile number one, then this is your reading. We're putting number one over there so that people can easily fast forward to their reading, but there are timestamps in the description box down below. These are the tea leaf cards. I have pared them down to, they're not necessarily negative cards, but they are about what you might be missing. So they're not the yippee skippy good fortune type of readings. This is about what you might need to be cautioned about. We've got the Soul Explorer Oracle helping us as well. Any other Oracle decks that the reading calls for, we'll be using. You've got the Muse Tarot bringing you your predictive spread. And before I get started here, hey, please don't forget to subscribe. It helps my channel. If you like the reading, please don't forget to hit that thumbs up button. And if you want to book me for a private reading, there's a link to my website in the description box down below. And that is the only way to book me. If anybody approaches you in the comments section or in a direct message anywhere, that is not me. You can only go to my website to book me. Here we go. 1 and 2 and 3. What is the hidden truth? What are the red flags that pile number one aren't seeing? Immediately we have the Lovers card down, which is the Gemini card. It's a card of choices. Let's go 2 more times. 1 and 2. I don't anticipate this being like a very, I'm not going to say positive read, but rather these might be difficult things. If you're not in the space to hear news that you might not want to, maybe don't watch. I have the Emperor in the upright, which is the card for Aries for personal empowerment. I'm going to take a 9-card spread, which is the card of the number of individuality. I have the 2 Swords in reverse, which is opening up your third eye. It is facing a difficult truth sometimes. It comes out with the 6 of Pentacles in the upright. Then I have the 6 of Swords in the upright. That's about rescue and escape. It can be turning your back on a difficult situation. It can be ghosting as well. I have the Page of Wands in the upright. Then I have the Chariot in reverse, which is bringing something to an end. And then I have the 10 of Wands in the upright, which has a dog hair on it because I have dogs. I have the 10 of Wands in the upright, which is an overburdened situation or pushing too hard on something, with the Queen of Pentacles in reverse. All right, so I'm not positive what this situation is about, but it's clearly about a relationship of sorts that is not necessarily serving you. Because this, of course, is going to be about choices and being whole and aligned within. That's the Gemini card, the Lover's energy, which is not as often about relationships as things like the 2s are. With the Emperor in the upright, it's almost as if you have a diminishing relationship in your life. Because this is a supportive energy, but this is one that needs to examine a situation to see what you might need to leave behind, because this really is turning your back on a difficult situation. Now, it can be escapism as well. And the Page of Wands in the upright, the thing that's telling me that it's not necessarily about a relationship that's serving you is this Chariot in reverse with the 10 of Wands and then the Queen of Pentacles in reverse. There appears to be a relationship, and it may not be a romantic relationship, but there appears to be a relationship in your life that is potentially not serving you and causing you more stress and more worry. And it's not about it being over necessarily if we're talking about a ghosted situation or no contacted situation. It's just telling you not to focus on it, to allow it to kind of leave your consciousness in order to achieve peace. Well, 3 archetype cards wanted out. Okay. We have addict, which is helps you recognize and confront addictive behavior. Listen, it is incredibly normal for people who are kind of romantically attracted to somebody to be a little bit compulsive around it. Most of trauma survivors are, but you may not be facing a truth about the person you're connected to, or whether or not a situation is healthy for you. Now, I'll tell you honestly, I'm not too concerned. I feel like this is a truth that you already know and you just kind of need somebody to echo it. Because I think this 10 of Wands is somebody trying to release something because it is causing you anxiety. The Fool was next, which is fearlessly revealing emotions, helping people laugh at absurdity and hypocrisy. But the shadow attribute is using humor to wound rather than liberate, denial of your emotional truth. I think there's an element of a denial of emotional truth, but I think it's in the past. I think by the time you're watching this, you have already kind of tuned into maybe this isn't working out in the time frame I need it to. We had next was the shapeshifter, which is skill at navigating through different levels of consciousness, ability to see the potential in everything, and the shadow attribute is projecting any image that serves your personal agenda in the moment. And then this came out in reverse, which is the exorcist card. I have freeing yourself and others of destructive impulses. Shadow attribute is fear of facing your own demons. I'm going to be completely honest here. I do not think it's necessarily the relationship itself, which has like good vibes around it in a lot of ways. It's just that the compulsive energy or the need to know, which is a controlling behavior, which cannot be present in healthy relationships, is what this addict energy and this exorcist energy are talking about. And then I've got this projecting any image that serves your personal agenda in the moment as the shadow attribute on the shapeshifter. I don't have that, but skill at navigating through different levels of consciousness. Here's why you're being kind of urged to let go of expectations around what appears to be, it could be a work pairing. I think it is more likely an emotional one, meaning more likely a romantic one. It does not appear that it's the right time for that. It's an overburdened situation. Your person of interest might be dealing with trying to make changes. We had shapeshifter and addict together, and fool and exorcist, meaning they seem to be trying to make new beginnings in their own life and leave behind some, kind of like, here's facing a truth. Here's bringing something to an end. Remember, in relationship readings, I'm going to get information about both parties. Let's get a message of love card. So here's what I think it's saying. The connection itself is not unhealthy, but your relationship to the connection, the need to know, perhaps compulsively watching readings, or constantly wondering what the other person is up to, not living your own experience as a powerful individual with the Emperor in the upright like that. This is not, it's just a reminder that in order to have a healthy relationship with somebody, we have to start with a healthy relationship to self. And living the bulk of your existence, or even the majority of it, of your existence, wondering what's up with a person who's not there, is missing a lot in your life. We have intuition. I got this like as soon as the cards went down. Like, you're watching this to be like, they're going to tell me that like I'm focusing too much. Intuition, you already know the answer you seek. I am going to take from the Hidden Truth Oracle on this one as well. Here we go. Can I get a hidden truth for this? It does appear to be about a relationship. I have no indications that I miss being with you. That could go either way. Remember, in relationship readings, both energies are present. All right, 1 and 2 and 3. I'm going to get a romance angel on this as well. Here's what I've got. There's nothing wrong with the connection. Your relationship to the connection causes you stress and anxiety. And you're wondering what you can do. And it is just constantly remind yourself, let go of expectation. If it's meant to be, it's going to be. I don't have great energy around the emotional condition of the person that you're invested in. But they are making progress on overcoming what I think is likely a suspect relationship to escapism, meaning they might like always be getting high. They might always be drinking to try and cope with their feelings. Remember, to have a healthy relationship with somebody, the person needs to be healthy. Here's what I've got. I think that your person of interest is likely focusing on exactly that. I'm going to get one more. You inspire me. All right, there you go. Let's get a romance angel to keep pursuing this. But that's the difficult truth that you're trying to face. And like I said, almost from the second the cards started going down, like there's this card of personal empowerment. And again, that's the Aries energy. This is the Cancer energy. We have Aries, Leo, Sagittarius energy with the wands as well. Part of the reason I rarely call out the astrological signs is that they're usually all present. Now, I don't have any cups present on this one. So this is more about developing good habits, remembering to meditate, do a lot of work on your intuition. You're getting a reminder on that. And here's the thing. I think you already know that you're like, you know, I know. This has been going on long enough. I have it mostly conquered, but it's like hanging out in my background energy all the time. And what do? Meditate more. Concentrate on opening your third eye. Concentrate on asking for information about what your journey is meant to contain and how do you release things that are not serving you. I have playfulness. To recapture romance, allow your inner youthful spirit of fun to shine. This is just a reminder. Being in love is supposed to be fun. Being in love is supposed to be fun. Will it always be fun? No. But it's supposed to be the bulk of a romantic relationship is about how you love and support each other, that wonderful give and take, that laughing together energy that comes with the Fool. And I'll tell you, with the Fool's energy, I feel like there's a time for this, but it's just not right now. Let's go for the Apparently So deck. There'll be a link to purchase this in the description box down below. It is not my deck. It was given to me. I just like it so much that I've intended to plug it. I sound a little foolish when I talk about it because it's in a vernacular I don't naturally use, but it's such an on-point deck. Yeah. They're sorry. Sorry we're closed. If they were sorry, they wouldn't have done it in the first place. Now, I don't agree with that part, but I feel like this person that you're focusing on understands that they're not in the space to give you what you deserve because they're not in the space to give themselves what they deserve. They appear to be doing their work, and if this happens to be a twin flame situation, it's going to kind of attract a lot of twin flames. Blocked partnership. I want one more on that with signs. You're held back from a connection right now that if it were to take off in the form that you remember, it would not be super healthy if it came to you right now, if you're struggling with your own compulsive need to know things, and that is not in any way an insult. Remember, anxiety, people with, it looks like you might have a low-level anxiety disorder. I do, by the way, so please don't think that that is in any way an insert. You can manage it easily. You just have to kind of stay up on top of the tools that help you manage it. Right now is not the right time. You're still working on your stuff, and your person is working on their stuff too. Does that mean that it's a guarantee that things will work out? No, but that's what you need to release, is the idea that I need to know what's happening with this to know peace. That's what you're missing. This is a peaceful energy. The actions taken and bringing something to an end, needing to release a burden in order to, this is, for me, the Queen of Pentacles in the upright is this confident, secure, financially stable person. And in reverse like that, it has a tendency to be somebody who is being ruled by anxiety. You're exacerbating a tendency towards, we've got healing old wounds, you're exacerbating a tendency towards anxiety by focusing on this. And all you really have to do is every time that person enters your mind, remind yourself, I'm letting this go for right now. I'm just letting this go for right now. If it's meant to be, it's coming to me. If it's meant to be, it is coming to me. And allow yourself to have new experiences. Allow other people to flirt with you. Allow yourself to entertain the idea of like, well, okay, what if they never heal their wounds? Am I just going to sit and wait? And the answer is no. We're not meant to sit and wait for anybody like that. We're meant to live our dynamic and expressive and wondrous experience, fear and anxiety. I'm not laughing because it's funny. I'm laughing because I empathize. The origin of your anxiety actually is far before you think it is. It has to do when you were a little kid. And I think it was like people overreacted to mistakes you made and a couple of other things. Like you grew up with somebody who had their own anxiety issues and they never learned how to cope with it. And so you kind of, like, it was always very stressful. That is why your relationship to relationships has a tendency to bring in stress where there is no true need. Meaning, in your heart of hearts, you've accepted, yeah, like if this person isn't going to be there for me, if they're going to not treat me with all the importance that I deserve, here's somebody who knows their own worth. Like you've done all of this work to become whole within. You understand that you have your own personal power. You have your own personal journey, healthy boundaries. And I want one more on this, self-worth. You understand that your journey is your journey. You understand that it would be great if this particular person would join you on it, but that the way it makes you feel sometimes triggers out stress and anxiety. And that is something that you're trying to heal. So what are the red flags that you're not paying attention to here? The red flags that I'm personally kind of seeing in this are the need to face, like, is this a compulsive energy? Does this perpetuate feeling bad, or does it take it away? And there's a very easy way to tell. How long, if you've gotten a reading before that reassured you but said, please let go for the time being, that person is doing their work, and you go back 2 weeks later and you watch another reading, if you need that reassurance over and over again, that's a red flag. If you find when you're stressed out or concerned or worried, your mind immediately starts going to this pairing, to this person, it is because you are trying to heal a form of codependency. Now, not all codependency is equal, but it means that you don't have full confidence in your ability to face your own burdens, your own challenges yet. No way an insult, because you absolutely can do it. You know this, that's why you're watching this reading, is you just need the backup on it. And what do? You have a mantra around when that person enters your mind. I'm going to let this go for right now. I'm going to work on me. I'm going to let this go for right now. I'm going to work on me. I'm going to let this go for now. I'm going to work on me. And that's what you need to tell yourself over and over again when you find yourself in this weird compulsive energy, because I feel like you've been asking for help. Like, I really feel like you've been asking for help. I have keys on a ring, many options, decision, unconventional, string along, one night stand. I knew it. Twin flames, yin yang, zen, balance, union, duality, coupling, complement each other. And then I want one more on this one, which is mask, not showing true feelings, hide, personify, pretend, delude, and gaslighting. Here's what I think might be a little bit present in your life, is that this is the safe relationship for you to have because it actually makes no real demands on you. And that's okay. That's okay. But remember that maybe you're kind of hanging on to this need to know, because in your heart of hearts, I feel like you really know. Like you really know that the correct thing to do, this is an action taken, is to accept that it's like, this is not our time. You kind of know that there's going to be a time, but it's not this time. And just quit. Try to quit. Taking a look into this other person's life and do your own work. And it will relieve your anxiety and your stress because it will build your confidence. Establish a better relationship to your guides through meditation. Even if you don't feel like something's happening every single time. Imagination, gratitude, and then I have love. Listen, here's my gut sense on this. This connection's still there, but it's not its time. And that is something you don't want to spin your wheels waiting for somebody. You want to have this beautiful, adventurous, amazing experience in the here and now. Let yourself have fun. Let yourself go out. Let yourself flirt. And don't think it's disloyal to meet somebody else. If you guys are really each other's person, you're not going to develop that feeling for another person. You're just not. It's okay. We have ambitious, maybe focusing more on your own purpose as it pertains to what you're meant to be doing in this life. We have, in a world where possibilities are endless, I can do anything I set my mind to. Power and ambition courses through my veins. When I intentionally reach towards my dreams will meet me with open arms. That is that Emperor energy. And I'm going to tell you, honest to goodness, the block partnerships and signs, and then if you read this, it says be happy. You want the presence of another person in your life, and that is absolutely natural and normal. But until such time as you establish your own feeling of power, of worth, of purpose in this life, you will retreat into old habits to try and cope with anxiety. And your anxiety is there because, again, it's almost like it's genetic. Honest to goodness, it's almost like it's genetic. You grew up around it, it's like you were teabag steeping in it, and you didn't learn healthy habits around coping with it. You may not like meditation at this particular time because anxious people really, really have to lean in on allowing themselves to get into that practice, allowing themselves to focus on their breath. And remember, if you're not good at meditating right now, you can breathe in for 1 and exhale for 1 and count that as 1. So inhale 1, exhale 1, and you go up to 10 over and over again. That is a focus, it's almost like training wheels for developing meditative focus. You can do this, and again, why is it not the time for this? Because your person is healing, and the healing is going at the pace it needs to. And their emotional coping mechanisms were almost exclusively about drinking, smoking pot, escapism. They use escapism to cope. And that would make them a runner in a situation, in an emotional situation. They have a fear of intimacy. We have unfounded fear with soulmate. And I want one more, rest and relaxation. That's a clear call for meditating. Soulmate, karmic bond, and then I have spiritual and enlightenment with renewed faith. Here is what I've got for you. The only red flag that you're ignoring, the truth of the situation that you're not seeing, is not really about this relationship, but rather your relationship to self, where you are trying to develop a way of self-care that will allow you to cope with stress, with anxiety, with disappointment, that is not about I need somebody to give me a hug. I need somebody. You just need you. That's really all that the healing and developing that oneness within, that alignment with true self, is understanding that sometimes it's really nice to have somebody there. But if they're doing their own thing, if they're called away on their own journey, you have you, and that is what you need. That changing your relationship to relationships by understanding it's not need-based. I don't need anybody but me, but this is the person I would choose. They can't choose me right now. You're aware, by the way, that 2 of Swords in reverse, you're aware of whatever it is they're doing. It's kind of made you question things in the past, I think. People can heal, but they have to heal for themselves and in their own time. I have your deepest desires constrain you. Let them go to clear your mind. Remember, releasing is not the same thing as giving up. You're being asked to release your expectations, to turn your back on this situation and focus on your own journey so that you can learn to manage your anxiety. Your person is not the only person who's healing something. If you have good coping tools, what's happened to you in the past, I believe, is that relationships have faltered because you have been emotionally overwhelmed and not known how to deal with it. Your intuition is telling you that the shapeshifter energy, and letting go of bad habits. Your person's letting go of bad habits. You need to learn to let go of your own. And please allow yourself to consider that life should be a little bit more fun than it is sometimes. And what happens to you is you're fine if you kind of check occasionally. This person doesn't leave your thoughts even when you try. You're fine when you check occasionally. but please don't get into that compulsive energy. Please don't get into the addict's energy. Change the way you approach relationships to understand that you don't need somebody to comfort you. You don't need somebody to back you up. You are a force of nature. You have very strong intuition. It gets blocked by that anxiety. And the answer has a tendency to lie within meditation and adhering to a practice. Is there a time for this? I will tell you honestly, gosh, it looked like it. It sure did look like it, group number one. But the way to bring this about is to focus on your stuff and to recognize the checking on the relationship itself is part of your coping skills that you are looking to kind of rehab. And you can still get readings, but they need to be about your journey. They need to be about your path, your career, perhaps your family, maybe to examine because you learned bad coping skills and you're trying to unlearn them. This is not a bad coping skill. You can check in from time to time, but please let your thoughts stay with your life, your journey, and your healing. Is there a time for what the relationship that led you to this reading? It sure looked that way. It's a general reading, so it can't hold true for everybody, but that was the energy of this pile. That was your reading. I hope you enjoyed it. Take care and be well. Welcome back. If you chose pile number 2, this is your reading. We're putting the number 2 over there so people can easily fast forward to their reading. There will be timestamps in the description box down below. Hey, the Infinity deck is likely to give us some advice, and these are the tea leaf cards pared down to messages of things to address and be concerned with. So it's not the like, yay, wonderful love will find you. It's more, you watch your back type of energy from this. It may not be appropriate to use it. It wasn't in the first pile. The message was very clear. So let's get going for group number 2. What is the hidden truth here? What is the red flag that you're not seeing? Let's get going. Now remember, it's going to be slightly difficult energy. Here's the thing. If you're not in the space to hear something that you might not wish to, probably don't watch. Don't upset yourself unduly. It can be triggering. But if you're in the space where you're like, yeah, no, I just want to heal. I want to move forward. I want to know what I'm not facing so I can face it, then this is the reading for you. Let's get going for group number 2. What is the hidden truth here? What's the red flag they're not seeing? And before I get started, please don't forget to subscribe. It helps my channel. If you like the reading, please don't forget to hit that thumbs up button. And if you want to book me for a private reading, there is a link to my website in the description box down below. Let's go. All right. This is the Cirque de Tarot deck, bringing you your predictive spread of 9 cards. So I had to stop because my phone rang and it was very disruptive. These 2 cards that are coming out now have already gone down. It was the Justice card in the upright, which is a card of divine timing. It is a card of balance and of fairness. It is also the Libra card, and it can be legal matters. I have the 3 of Pentacles in the upright, which is a card of working together, collaborative efforts. It is focusing on the practical world as well. That comes out with the 6 of Cups in reverse, which is a difficult relationship from the past, potentially from childhood. This is frequently childhood issues for me. With the 2 of Cups in the upright, well, that is a card of a deep soul connection. The 2 of Cups they're very connected. It is usually about a romantic pairing. I anticipate that most of these readings will be about romantic pairings, but they may not be. They could be about work, or they could be about family. I have the Temperance card in reverse, which is a card of needing patience. The divine timing is at work as you heal. And you're still healing, it appears to be, from older issues. It's not a punishment to be held apart from somebody while you're healing. It's actually one of the greatest gifts. I have the Queen of Cups in reverse, which is developing your own intuition. You are working on developing your own inner guidance system. It has been kind of, I think, blocked by some trauma from your past. And then I have the Hierophant in reverse, which is the Taurus card. It is also the card of being non-traditional. It is also the card potentially of having come from a broken family. Now, listen, most people do. So it doesn't mean that it's not damaging simply because it's most people's experience or many people's experience. Remember, your emotional foundation was likely damaged by the formative relationships around you as a child, and you're still working on that. With the World in the upright, which is the wheel turning, more things coming to you. This is one of the cards of karma. So is the Wheel of Fortune. The world is complete cycles. You have yet to complete your full healing. With the Six of Pentacles in reverse, here's what it led you to in the past. Non-reciprocal relationships. Relationships in which, like, your love languages are probably like acts of service and gifts, and always proving that you love somebody through kind of I kind of want to say 3D means. And it's rarely reciprocated at the level that you're giving it. And it's not because you're unlovable. It is quite simply that you do not need to earn somebody's love. And that is something that I think your childhood taught you. I think approval was very difficult to come by. The truth that you're not facing is you still just have a little bit of shadow work to do. It's not fatal. It appears to be holding you back from true connection. I can't tell if this is something in separation, or if you're like, hey, am I ever going to get to have a person, either again or at all? You're trying to heal something. And what really determines whether or not something can come to us? It really is our higher self. It's a hard concept, but you still have some things to face from childhood that you don't realize this because it may have been a little bit since you've been in a truly close relationship. But the idea that somebody is withdrawing their love or leaving you still frightens you badly. We have Dragon. Beware of self-delusion. Now, I don't have that card here. With Hills, obstacles to overcome. Here's what I think that self-delusion card is likely about. You may get triggered. You may get triggered by some insecurities. You may be working on your frustration and patience. Listen, here's the easiest way to tell whether or not you're patient enough. If somebody says, hey, you need to heal your patience, and your reaction is anything like, oh my God, that means you have something to heal. If you react to the idea of it's not quite the right time, be patient, enjoy your life as it is, with I just hate everything, why can't I have what I want? Because when we're in a healed energy, we can find something to be joyful about in our overall existence. And your growing up experience, which is the one that just keeps calling out to me, is keeping you from this feeling of completion in relationships. Every relationship you have until you heal, this underlying damage will surface. This lack of emotional fulfillment. Now, most of the time I see the Queen of Cups in reverse as a card of intuition, going with your gut. But it can actually mean that you're looking to exterior sources to meet your emotional needs. And listen, people can make us feel better. They really can, perk us up when we're feeling low. We have to possess the ability to do so for ourselves, sometimes so that we don't fall into the wrong hands. You're still in the energy of, I would give so much if I could have my human. And honest to goodness, you're not thinking of it this way, but you're not thinking of what you're deserving of receiving. And that's just your difficult truth. We have Apology. I really feel like your higher self wishes that they could sit in a room with you and say, I'm sorry. I'm sorry because I know that this is uncomfortable for you, and I know that you're sad and lonely sometimes. But the truth of the matter is, it will keep happening. Relationships will self-destruct under the weight of that old trauma until you heal it. And you don't want to go through this again. No matter what stage of life that you're in, if you were laid low by unsatisfying emotional relationships in your adult life, that means, and it's a repeating pattern, it means that there's still underlying issues to examine. And it is not an insult, and it doesn't mean you're weak. It means that you're very strong to have gotten through the bulk of your life or periods of your life without being healed. Think about how strong you have to be able to keep going, even though you're basically like a car with 3 wheels on it. You're always trying to compensate for what you don't have to find your balance shifts towards higher expectations of yourself, being very demanding of yourself. I don't get the perfectionist vibe here, but you want to be healed so much. And then I have Eternal Love. And then I have Important Conversation. Here's the thing. If you're asking about a relationship, I don't have anything wrong with the relationship. If you're in separation on a relationship, you're in separation because you're still healing. The easiest way to bring about the end separation is to work on your own stuff. And remember, this learning patience thing, it's what we need for a strong relationship. You have to be able to deal with somebody else's more impossible side if you want to have a healthy and a good relationship with somebody. Let's get going with the messages of love. Dragon and hills. Like, you have to slay that personal dragon. That's what it is. You have to slay your personal dragon, which it is that you get frustrated and like you feel your self-esteem and your self-worth is something that you're still working on. Whoever it is that you're asking about, like, I really get the feeling that they are always your person. Like, even in lifetimes where you've not ended up together, like your souls are together and you were very disconnected from your partners. This is, and that can, like, it can be so hurtful to people to hear that it's like, so what if we're together in other dimensions? I'm alone in this one. You're not. You have you. You have your higher self. You have your connection to the divine. Balance. One person is giving too much in this relationship. You are still prone to giving more than you receive. And here's the thing. If this is a twin flame situation, because it appears to be a divine pairing, if this is a twin flame situation, remember your bad habits, since our relationships reflect our wounds, in self-care can act as a trigger for that other person as well. We have rejection. This rejection is actually divine protection. With unavailable, this person is unable to give you all you deserve and to play hard. Is it possible that this is not meant to work out? Yeah, it's possible. It's possible, but apology, eternal love, and important conversation are not leading me to believe that. It's that the rejection, which at the time, I have this feeling like the universe is saying no on what you're asking for. And you want to know why, and it's because you're still healing. And if you just want to throw something at a wall because it's like, do you know how long I've been being told I'm healing? It's years. It's literal years. Your foundation, the foundation of who you are, was damaged by what appears to be either abandonment or intentional mistreatment. It is not, it might take a while to re-pour your foundation, to learn how to love yourself, to learn only to accept those who are truly worthy of you. The hard truth to face is that even though it's a long journey, there's just still more to do. And if you just kind of want to give up because it's like, this is endless, life is not meant to feel that way. Life is not meant to feel like toil and a burden. And if it does, for long periods of time, because we can all have a bad day, we can all have a low mood, we can all have a, oh my God, the car broke down, the cat threw up, and look at that, the door just fell off its hinges. We can all have those type of days. But if day after day feels like that, there's something to heal. Talking, interested in conversing more, awaited messages arrive, text, call, email, and hovering. Honest to goodness, it kind of feels like maybe this person might be reaching out. And I don't have a time frame on that, but please don't just leap at something because you're like, oh, thank God I've waited for this for so long. If that is your reaction, instead ask yourself, why didn't it work out before now? Why didn't I meet this person before now? Am I really ready? The idea of love is sometimes so compelling, and it's different than the reality, okay? The Phoenix, new phase, rekindle, renew, transformation, growth, and changed mind. One more on this. The butterfly, relationship evolving into the next phase, healing the inner child and growth. I do not get the sense that this is a rejection scenario where there's no way for it to ever work out. I just don't. With apology, eternal love, and important conversation, rejection and unavailable with play hard. When you're healed, you enjoy your life. If you are still struggling with enjoying your life and like I said, bad days happen, slow periods happen. Where I live right now, it has been beastly hot for about 10 days. And is it affecting my ability to be like, wee? You bet it is. But I also know it's ending in about 2 days. We have Saboteur. Highlights your fear of self-empowerment and the changes it would bring to your life. The shadow attributes is induces self-destructive behavior or desire to undermine others. I think you were undermined. Like, I have this, like, I get that there's a feeling of abandonment, but I have this feeling that, like, somebody just, it's almost like you were brainwashed to feel like you're not worth anything. Listen, with talking the phoenix, the butterfly, apology, and important conversation, I really feel like whatever, and it's likely a romantic relationship. I'll get a romance angel here in a moment with that eternal love card. Keep in mind that your journey is yours. If somebody is trying to join you on it, make sure that they are pulling their own weight, that they are in their healthy habits as well. Because if you go for something too soon, you'll just backslide and you'll go back in separation. And I know that's like the last thing anybody in separation wants to hear. It just has a tendency to hold true. We have student, humility and devotion to knowledge, openness to lifelong learning. And then I have arrogance in pursuit of destructive knowledge, unwillingness to translate knowledge into action. I think that you are learning about what your true worth is and how to have healthier relationships. These all fell out, so we're taking all of them. I have pioneer, passion for doing and creating what has not been done before, and the shadow attribute, compulsive need to keep moving on. A lot of people who are abused, who are emotionally abused, deal with compulsive safety seeking. Servants delight in serving others with a free and loving heart, but the shadow attribute is using the lack of money as an excuse not to move forward in life. Listen, it can also be trying to give in order to receive love. Love is given freely without expectation. You do not need to earn it from somebody with acts of service and gifts. Now, if that's somebody's love language, then you learn that over the course of time. And there's nothing wrong with it. It's just, please don't start out from that place. It's not everyone's love language. And if you start out from that place, it says you have something to heal in which you feel like you need to earn somebody's attention. The alchemist is transformation of base motives and goals into golden wisdom, the misuse of power and knowledge that come through spiritual practice. Hey, so I am not in the least hopeless about this, but the truth that you're not facing is that the red flag that you're not seeing is you still question your worth. Like if somebody asks you to do something and you have to say no, it's hard on you. Like you have to go through like a kind of a barrage of self-talk in order to understand that you have the right to say no still. And that's like from friends and maybe colleagues. Obstacles to overcome. That's the obstacle to overcome. You will know you have healthy boundaries when you say no and you don't beat yourself up for it. Currently, I think when you say no, it is really hard for you. And it's likely from your mom. I'm going to be honest, this energy with that Queen of Cups in reverse, because that can be an older female, it is likely from your mother, who, like, I think just, I almost want to say, and if this doesn't describe you, remember it's a general reading, it can't hold true for everybody, but it's like she used you like a chew toy. If she was anxious or irritated, she would just pick on you. And so you're always afraid you're doing something wrong. You're not. Don't take on her issues. It didn't have to do with your worth. It had to do with her crappy coping mechanisms. Here we go. Worth waiting for. Divine timing is at work in your love life. Group number 2. I'm actually really sorry because it's never what people who are asking about relationships want to hear. You still have some red flag behaviors in which you don't know that you have the right to say no yet. You are still struggling with that aspect. And please don't be hard on yourself for that. Honest to goodness, if the energy I'm picking up off of these cards is at all accurate, like there may have been a bona fide like monster in your background, like somebody had a true personality disorder. Now you can understand that it probably came from their own trauma. You can forgive it. Recognition is not condemnation. You can recognize it's like, wow, you were really unwell and you took it out on me, without it being like, so hang them from the highest tree. Instead, it's a case of, so I should let go of that vision of myself because it came from somebody who was using me as a painkiller. When they were in pain, they just kind of kicked me until they squealed. And I squealed, is this being all about you. When somebody takes their pain out on somebody in an abusive fashion, they get something out of it. Remember that. It wasn't about your fault. It was that they used you as a coping tool. Best version. Every day I am growing into my full potential. Therefore, I am becoming more extrinsically valuable to the world. So I will walk with arms wide to receive the challenges coming my way. At this moment, I am the best version of myself, and tomorrow I'll be even better. Hey, listen, it's a little bit hard, and I wish that for your sake, because I've got this, you've been working on stuff for so long, energy. Please remember, you've made tons of progress. And if you sustain damage from somebody who is out to damage you because they wouldn't face their own faults, that is not about weakness. You're very strong to have done anything in the face of somebody who told you you never did anything right. And that's the energy that I've got here. Now, if that is not the energy of your background, this might not be your pile. And that does happen. Remember, general readings can't contain messages for everybody. Everybody has different collectives. Let's go here. Let's get a deck, one from the Apparently So deck. This is Teacher's deck. There's a link to purchase it in the description box down below. I don't get anything if you do. I plug it so often because I find it to be so accurate. We have multiple streams of income, and then I have unconditional love, and then divinely timed prosperity. There is a possibility that you're working on your own career. One of the ways that you will establish the self-worth that you need to have better boundaries is in your own success. So group number 2, I'm sorry, I wish it was, but this is the nature of the reading. If you're getting a no, not now type of energy and play hard energy from the universe based on, can I have a person yet? You need to be your own person first. And you have made so much progress that you're like, I'm done, right? I'm better. I'm so much better. You are so much better. Be so proud of yourself. But please stop taking responsibility for being in some way injured by somebody who set out to injure you. Just say, I still have something to heal. I have this weird feeling that you're having contact fairly soon. And I think that approach with caution, knowing that you have some things that you're still working on. And there's no shame nor sin in having things to work on. We all do. We're a work in progress throughout the course of our lives. You will slay your personal dragons. You will overcome your obstacles. And it will come to you, that feeling of internal balance, that feeling of self-worth that will allow you to know you have the right to say no, to have boundaries, and to know that you are worthwhile and your love is a gift. And with that rejection energy, you really might have gotten your self-image wrapped up in whether or not a particular person wants you. And if a particular person does not want you, please remember that just likely means they have bad taste. You are a gift. Your love is a gift. Anybody who is worth you would receive you as that gift. And if they're doing their own work, let them do their own work. Let divine timing be at play in your love life, because the divine is always on our side and working to help us. Group number 2, that was the red flag. That was the difficult truth. Take care. Be well. Go forward. You're going to heal. Welcome back. If you chose file number 3, this is your reading. We're putting the number 3 over there so that people can easily fast forward to their reading. There are also timestamps in the description box down below. Hey, these are the tea leaf cards, but I kind of pared them down to the more difficult energies, the things that we're trying to work on, because this is what are the red flags that you're missing? What is the truth that you are potentially not facing? I'm going to pull oracle cards as they are appropriate to what the tarot cards reveal. This is the affirmations deck. It gives us information on what we can heal. This is the traditional Magna deck, and I really enjoy it. I usually use it for relationship readings. I'm kind of anticipating that most of these readings will be about personal relationships, and in fact, thus far they have been. But there will be different oracle cards and oracle decks used with each pile. Hey, before I get started, please don't forget to subscribe. Pile number 3, what is the difficult truth they're not facing? What's the red flag they're missing? Before I get started, please don't forget to subscribe. It helps my channel. If you like that reading, please don't forget to hit the thumbs up button. And if you want to book me for a private reading, there's a link to my website in the description box down below. Hey, let's go. By the way, if you're not in the space to hear something that might be challenging, or maybe not like you're getting everything you want, it's time for abundance, it's time for blessings, this is a facing difficult truths type of energy. If you're not in that space, don't trigger yourself. Go watch another reading and come back when you're ready. And there's nothing wrong with not being ready. King of Wands in reverse. Okay. I don't like that energy. The King of Wands can be Aries, Leo, or Sagittarius, but it can also be somebody who has a bad temper. It can also be somebody who is not in a committed space. They're a little bit of a player. With the Five of Swords in the upright, which is a card of like choosing your battles and recognizing that it's a victory that can't fully be won. It's a card of conflict as well. You might, I think I know, okay. The Seven of Pentacles in the upright is kind of one of those downsizing energies. It's like, I always envision it as a closet that you're trying to organize. Some people see this as failure. I don't. I see it as a process card. I think you're learning how to be at the Chariot in reverse. Something isn't happening because your impulse control is you're still reactive rather than responsive. That is not an insult. I think you've made a lot of progress. This is a card of progress. There's just a bit more to go. With the Death card in the upright, which is a Scorpio energy, it's also a card of new beginnings. It's a card of transformation. Death is not death. Now, death for me can mean death. It has to be in reverse, but that's closure or death. With the Two of Swords in the upright, which is choices and denial and blocking out something difficult. With the Emperor in reverse, which is, okay, that can be an emotional abuser. It can be a sociopath. And then it comes with the Moon in reverse. The Chariot in reverse is the card for the astrological sign Cancer. The Moon in reverse is the card for the astrological sign Pisces. In reverse, they rarely apply to the astrological signs. And then I have the Seven of Cups in the upright. Things are pretty much still up in the air because I think that you're asking about, are you healed yet? Are you ready yet? Where's your success? I don't have anything that talks about a personal relationship here. Listen, I need to talk to you about something. If in the past you've had a bad temper, if you have been responsive in a destructive way, please don't think that you can never change. You can change. Those are usually learned responses. If we grow up around toxicity, we learn toxic habits. You can learn whatever it is that you need to. You're still in a process of learning how to control your emotional regulation, meaning observing the idea that you're having a feeling. It's like, wow, I'm angry. Why am I experiencing anger right now? I think it's reminding me of, and that's how it should feel. When you're in that responding, not reacting energy, you can recognize I'm short-tempered, I am impatient, I am angry, I am sad, without it dictating what your actions are. And it's not the same thing as emotional repression. It's a little bit the opposite. It's learning how to emotionally process. Something hasn't come to you yet. It's interesting to me because I kind of feel like it's financial success this time rather than an emotional relationship. And it's because you're still a little conflicted within. You don't know how to handle conflict yet. You're trying and you're making great progress. Please don't discount the progress that you've made simply because you haven't arrived at your destination. Things are still like nebulous. This is a card of things being up in the air. It can't be spell work. I have no reason to believe it is in this particular instance. I have recognized despair as an opportunity. Within you, you will find the gift of awakening. It's emotional regulation. You're doing well, I think, with your temper. You're doing well with your patience. You're doing well with a lot of things except for learning how to welcome the idea that sadness or grief or upset is actually bringing you the opportunity to heal. I don't think you look at it that way. I don't think you look at negative emotions as being your friend in that they are trying to highlight what it is you're still working on. And again, if you grow up in an abusive household and you learned things that are not healthy and are toxic, please forgive yourself that. You didn't do it, you just learned it. And anything learned can be unlearned. Anything made can be unmade. Please do not punish yourself or berate yourself or feel as if things can't ever work out for you because you came from difficult circumstances. I came from terrible circumstances. And did I have to unlearn a lot of toxic things? Yes, I did. And it took longer than I would like, but oh my goodness, it was really toxic. So it's not actually that surprising. This is a card of being patient with the process. Remember, you've made progress, you can continue to do so. I have Priest. Facilitates spiritual commitments, serves as a channel of spiritual energy, and the shadow attribute is violates the trust of your spiritual community, seduced by your own spiritual role. Now, it is possible with this moon in reverse, which is a clear and open channel. In reverse, this can also be a clear and open channel. It is possible that your own abilities are slightly occluded because the Two of Swords in the upright can be an occluded third eye. It can be a little bit blocked because here's what I've kind of got is that like you try to squash emotions still instead of working through them, writing about them, examining them, having an inner dialogue with yourself, which by the way, if that doesn't feel natural, sometimes speaking aloud can help. Please don't feel weird about talking to yourself sometimes. Half the role of therapy is hearing what we say to another person. We have Damsel. This is understanding the nature of healthy romance inspires you to rely on yourself. The shadow attribute is waiting for a knight to provide for you, seduction by romantic illusion. There's an illusion card over here, but I don't get the fantasy and illusion about a relationship. What I have here is that you're still developing your ability to cope with your own emotions in a way that is productive. This is a card of being productive. It's a toil and labor card. You're still working on something. You're just still working on something. Please be kind to you. Please be understanding of the things that you don't like about yourself as much. Don't view them as flaws. View them as highlighted areas that you're trying to improve. Guess what? It's actually easy. One of the things I'll tell people about and if you haven't been watching my channel for a while, oh my goodness, like every form of abuse was part of my childhood, including neglect, including bullying, including like physical violence, all kinds of terrible things. I'm okay now, but it was a process. Allow yourself to take the time that you need. You can overcome anything that you need to. You honestly can. It's quite simply, I've told people I feel fortunate because of that, because there was no way for me to think I was going to be okay. That is like the silver lining of, it's like, wow, that sounds bad. And in fact, it was bad. I like grew up in an empty house and all kinds of bizarre things. So bizarre that when I emerged, I understood I'm not going to be normal because that was not normal. And I knew I had things to work on. And I tell you, I'm fortunate because it allowed me to start work on a process. And it was a long process because, honest to goodness, sometimes people come from very destructive backgrounds. But I got lucky. Think of it that way. If something is being highlighted for you, if a light is being shown down upon what it is you need to heal, to have better relationships with yourself and others, and enjoy the success, I think you're asking about success overall. We have, what was this? Someone will gossip about all your secrets. Okay. Former partners might do that, particularly if you've been involved with this emotional abuser's energy. If that's from your past, please don't let that bother you. Remember, if somebody is all like, yeah, give me the salacious details, well, this person's not somebody you want as a friend anyway. And this person is not, they will reveal who they really are. And like, it does register on a subconscious level that that's just a really gross thing to do. Like betraying somebody's trust because you're no longer with them about very intimate details, which is kind of what I've got. Like this person's just, it's a former partner, I would say. Someone you know is undependable and insincere. Be careful who you trust. That's officially 2 cards, and I don't have it here. I don't have it here. Just be careful. Like there's somebody who they misuse confidences. And then I have Seahorse, family matters. Okay, could be somebody in your family. It really genuinely could be a former spouse. It could be somebody in your family. The way that you receive that information is going to really tell you where you are in your healing journey. Because if you're in a place where you're like, okay, that makes sense, you understand you never have control over what somebody else does. You never have control over what somebody else does, but you can learn to have control over how you react. please don't let it matter. You never have any idea what somebody is saying about you. It could be entirely untrue. What they believe does not change the truth. What a fool believes does not change the truth of the matter. Just let it go. Like anybody who's judging you, well, they've got their own issues. Hopefully they'll heal. You just concentrate on healing you. Remember, this type of person reveals who they are. And you know what? So what if people gossip about you? It doesn't change who you are. In fact, you can be stronger and more empowered and more balanced and more centered if you simply learn to be like, I just don't care what you think. I don't care what you think of me. I care what I think of me. I care what the divine thinks of me, and that's it. If failure, I understand that a mistake is only an opportunity to learn. With freedom, I possess the power and the free will to create my own happiness. And then I have regret. I know that I cannot change the past. With worry, I think you're concerned more about, this does not appear to be just about a relationship. This appears to be about your connection, your ability to see, like, where's the everything I've been being promised for so long? It's still coming to you. You're involved in a longer process than you want it to be. And I'm genuinely sorry that that's the energy that's around here. But you're still learning how to cope with negative emotions in a way that aids your journey rather than throws up roadblocks. You've got this regret, worry, and failure, like you, honest to goodness, you're measuring your worth by, I think, exterior success too much. We have, oh well, this is a card of just being like, oh, screw it. That's that energy for whatever. If people are gossiping, just let them. I don't actually have that here, but that came out in your archetype cards with opportunity. And then I have black magic. This is a card of black magic being broken and you being safe. And then I have end of harsh karmic cycle. Everything that we do comes back to us in some form or fashion. Every action has an opposite reaction to it. Please don't worry about how gross this person is being. Honest to goodness, like there's this energy of them destroying themselves over and over again. Let them destroy themselves. Understand that even if people they'd be gossiping anyway. The type of people who gossip anyway. At least they might have a seed of truth. And remember, it doesn't make that person look good. So the hard truth that you're not facing is quite simply that there's still some emotional processing work to be done around how you handle negative emotions. Not because you're a beast or a monster, you're not. It's just that you deserve more freedom from being worried about what other people think of you. I have loss issues with achievement and success. This is about success. Family support, end of a learning phase. I want one more, new level of growth. Hey, listen, if it's not a former romantic partner, there's just somebody in your life, likely an abusive parent. It may have been physical. I don't have that here. I've got somebody who got very loud and angry, who used anger to intimidate people. You're still processing and learning. The red flag in this thing is that please don't care about what somebody is saying about you. You will never have any control over that. Don't try and manage that part. Oh, we've got love yourself first flipped in my hand. Your self-respect makes you more romantically attractive. I'm going to leave it there. You're not thinking of it from this aspect, but when you judge your negative emotions, you're judging you. You're not embracing all that you are. Everything exists within us for a reason. When we have these big emotions, that means we have big power, and we're learning how to manage it. So your success is still a little bit held back by your ability to, I believe, give yourself permission to have negative emotions, to know that you have self-worth, and to kind of not care what other people say or think or do at the level where it affects how you feel about yourself. I have stability. And then I have mastery. You're mastering a spiritual lesson. You're still in the process of mastering some emotional regulation issues that are not your fault. I help complex post-traumatic stress disorder survivors and PTSD survivors all the time because I am one. And remember, if something took years to put into place and was part of your formative experience, it might take a little bit to heal it. But you are being given the opportunity to heal. Think of it as an opportunity, not in any way some kind of judgment against your worth. And when it comes to this former partner person or this former family member or an active family member, start doing that work around, I don't care what other people think. I will never care. They're just hiding from their own stuff when they're gossiping about somebody else. Remember that. Remember that. Don't hand your self-worth over to the hands of anybody other than you and the divine and your higher self. We have change, a change of residence, partner, career, or jobs in the cards. You're restless and in need of a change, and that is exactly what's coming to you. I get that restless energy. You're a little bit triggered around, like, when's something going to happen? You're just still healing. You're just still healing. Reflection. Friendships in your life may come to an end. Others could blossom and become stronger. There is potentially a friendship, because we're getting that please don't trust somebody energy. And if you're suddenly racking your brains and like making a long list of I shouldn't trust them, I shouldn't trust them, I shouldn't trust them, you can trust appropriately. But if somebody like gossips about people around you, know that they're gossiping about you when you're not there. If somebody is dealing with anger issues poorly within a friendship, it means they deal with anger issues poorly, and they may mistreat you when they are angry. There is a warning around only giving your connection to people who are truly there. You've got multiple warnings around that. Someone will gossip, someone is undependable, and then family matters. You're still healing from formative damage. That's the difficult truth. And if it's like you're just like, I can't take it anymore. I just need something to happen. This is endless. Remember, if it's about romance, date. Date if you're really just like, I can't take it. I just can't take it anymore. Go ahead and date, but don't invest in the idea of relationships. Know that you're investing in your relationship with yourself first. But I think what you're really asking about is not about love, but rather, why can't I be successful? Why isn't this working out yet? I've been told and told and told I would be successful. Why am I not successful? You're still healing. If success came to you before you had mastered a feeling of worth, good, healthy boundaries, the ability to divorce yourself from other people's expectations or views of you, that is all about being very secure in who you are. And success is being secure, by the way. It's not just about a bank balance. All that's holding back your success is that you're still not quite secure in your own worth. You still hand it over to other people. What do they think? What are they saying? And it is likely because there's somebody, likely in your formative experience, who allowed you to accept people into your life that were not fully trustworthy and think that that's the norm. Honest to goodness, the people that you give your love, your time, your attention to, if they're not trustworthy with that, move on to others. Group number 3, the red flag that you're not facing is that you still care a little bit too much about what other people think. And that's the part that you're trying to heal. And it causes you to become angry and frustrated, and sometimes to lash out at yourself at this point. Like you have to master self-talk that is encouraging of you. And please don't shy away from negative emotions. Recognize despair as an opportunity. Within you, you will find the gift of awakening. Your feelings are trying to educate you about what is going on within you. Your success is coming to you. You have success in your future. If everything feels up in the air right now, it's because you're still a work in progress in terms of being able to sustain the stress of when, here's what happens, that gossip card that you kept getting. When you start succeeding, people start talking about you. It is just, they go hand in hand. You have to have a very clear version of yourself and a vision of yourself within your own mind. Your skin needs to thicken a little bit. That's all. That's all. Work on self-love. Work on meditating to invite your higher self to guide you. And don't heal your heart chakra. Heal your heart chakra. You shy away from negative emotions because I think you believe that they're evidence that you're not healed yet. You consider them a foe rather than a friend. that is shining a light into why are you sad? Where does the damage come from? All right, group number 3, that was in fact a hard truth, and it had a little bit of everything about family relationships, relationships to self, and where is that success? You're still healing. Please embrace that as an opportunity. Something loves you so much in this universe, they are trying to make you be well. Take care and be well. Welcome back. If you chose pile number 4, this is your reading. I'm putting the number 4 over there so that people can easily fast forward to their reading. The Soul Explorer's Oracle will be bringing us a card or 2. This is the tea leaf deck. I have pared it down to ones that are about, things we're confronting, things we're dealing with. It's not the blessings, it's the challenges and the obstacles. And why? Because this is a reading about what are the red flags you aren't seeing, what is the hidden truth of this situation. So it's going to be about something that you need to face. So with that said, please don't watch this if you're not in the space to hear things about that you might not wish to hear at this time, but that the universe is saying maybe you need to. And if you're not in that space, no worries, go watch a different reading or do something different and revisit this when you are in the mood. Here, let's go. All right, so this is the Tarot at the End of the Rainbow. We're using it for a 9-card predictive spread. We'll get other oracle cards as the reading reveals the need for them. I'm not sure what the nature of your question will be until we get the cards down. I was anticipating that they would mostly be about relationships, but thus far it's been a bit of a mixed bag. And in fact, here I have what are you? You are the 7 of Pentacles in reverse, which is a feeling of failure. Okay. It can also be like being asked not to work so hard on things. Hey, before I get started, please don't forget to subscribe. It helps my channel. If you like that reading, please don't forget to hit the thumbs up button. And if you want to book me for a private reading, there is a link to my website in the description box down below. Let's keep talking here, because here is the 7 of Pentacles in reverse with the Knight of Cups in the upright. We have the 3 of Swords in the upright. This is one of my favorite 3 of Swords because it has this butterfly energy in multiple places. It has a tendency to be more concentrated on the healing versus the heartbreak. This is moving on and progress. It is the 8 of Wands. That is a card of travel, of moving forward, of progress, of communication. I love that card. And it comes out with the 7 of Cups in the upright. Ooh, interesting. You have a download code. 7 in the upright, 7 in reverse. That's about areas of your consciousness and your connection that are trying to expand, which is discernment. This is the 7s are about discernment or assessment, the efforts that you're making to build towards a managed change. Honest to goodness, I feel like it is like a patience with the process energy that is being revealed here, and things are still up in the air in a healing journey. I think you're asking, like, what aren't you seeing? Why hasn't love come to you yet? But I'm not positive yet. And in fact, we have the High Priestess in reverse like that, which is something that is clear, something being revealed, secrets being brought to light, with the Fool in reverse, which is a watch your step type of energy. Now, it can be starting again, older, wiser, having learned many lessons, but it can also be a be careful, because it can be a foolishness energy. And I think in the past, maybe your relationship choices may have not served you, and you are being held back from a little bit of process as you continue on a healing journey. As I said, this 3 of Swords doesn't bother me at all. It could be coming back after divorce or breakup. With the 8 of Wands, you are making such progress. And then I have it with the Judgment card in the upright. This is it's 20 is the number of the Judgment card, which is the card of the Archangel Gabriel. That is about life's purpose, enlightenment, being raised up from the darkness. It is about something being highlighted within your soul so that you can deal with it. It's a card of karma as well. And that comes out with the Page of Wands in the upright. Okay. So this could be in a personal relationship capacity where you're asking, like, am I ever going to have another human being? Am I just like consigned to the solitary ward for the rest of my life? My God, what did I do? You did not do anything, but you're healing. And there is more love coming to you. Like, you are going to fall in love again. You are going to fall in love again. It's just that it's not the right time, because you are still working on your ability to spot somebody's true motives. You may have allowed the wrong people to linger too long in the past. Your discernment is becoming just crystal clear. And that watching your step energy, the older and wiser energy of the Fool in reverse, through having a good heart, you may have allowed people to remain around you who had toxic traits, and you thought maybe you could heal them from it. Sometimes that is one of the messages that I'm going to take these both because that was in my hand and that one was just desperate to come out. A difficult path is being revealed. Ask for help and learn we are all connected. And then the time of guilt and shame ends now. Forgive yourself and begin to love yourself just as you are. You are still working on self-love. You are still working on healing. And the difficult path, I think, simply has been your healing journey. I think that you're watching this not because you're looking for what you haven't healed yet. You're looking for what you haven't healed yet. You haven't healed from some toxic traits in your past that are not about a judgment of self, but rather your judgment in who you allow to remain in your life has had to undergo a time of change and transition and of learning and of growth. Here's the thing, I do have something happening. Like, that's a fairly swift moving energy. And I think the red flag that you're facing is not in the here and the now. Dissatisfaction with life, yeah. You're kind of wondering when things are going to happen. You need this message before they can get there. And it is that even if somebody comes along, they feel like they're the perfect person or it's the perfect opportunity, you need to hold back than you normally do. This is a card of being the opposite of the, I leap forward, leap in the net shall appear type of energy. That's not it. It is, I take things at a slow and steady pace, no matter how excited, encouraged, or in love I am. You don't have a red flag currently, but you have to know that going forward in relationships, which I think is what you're asking about, you have to be very cognizant of the red flags in order to continue with the progress that you have made. We have Scissors, disappointment in some affair. Ooh, dissatisfaction and disappointment with Wall, a misunderstanding. I think you believe that you're almost being punished for being injured, emotionally injured. That's what trauma is. Please don't think of it as, when we talk about mental illness, it's just illness. Illness that is related to energetic and emotional injury. Remember, think of it as damage that you are trying to repair on your emotional body. And you didn't damage you, so please don't feel like it's a judgment of worth. Everybody sustains damage in their formative experiences, in their first relationships, in their trajectory through life. It is not a judgment. There is always somebody in this world who has such a terrible existence that we can compare ourselves to them and be like, well, at least it's not me. Remember, there is no why. This is not about deserving. It is about the path that we choose so that we can learn the lessons that we want to. King, light attributes are enlightenment, benevolent leadership, benefiting those in your charge. And then shadow attribute is excessive feelings of entitlement and rulership without restraint. I have this feeling that this is all about romance. That this is all about romance, and you're like, is anything ever going to happen? What have I not healed? What am I supposed to do? Am I supposed to meditate more? Am I supposed to ground more? Am I supposed to go out to a park more? Am I supposed to develop an interest in drawing, sewing, throwing pots? What am I supposed to do that will let anything happen? You don't need to do to make something happen. You need to be. And the being is in control of your discernment, in not allowing your feelings to run away with you, which that can happen. Hey, when we fall in love, this is a card of falling in love. I think you're being held back from falling in love. That you're you really are wondering, it's like, do I get a person? Do I ever get a human? You're wondering why something won't happen, and you've been trying and trying and trying to heal. And you're disappointed with your progress in life. And the red flag is I think you're beating up on yourself for not being super happy with your life right now. Please don't. Dissatisfaction with life is the thing that gives us, kind of incentive. It's the catalyst for change. Please don't think of it as a bad thing. If it's chronic, if you can never be happy, that's something to address. But if you're like, I'm not pleased with my set of circumstances right now, it's okay. Look for what you do have gratitude for. Celebrate what you do have gratitude for. And please don't think that you're trying to solve a puzzle. You're trying to heal yourself. All right, we have advocate. Inspires you to put compassion into action. And then shadow attribute is embracing negative causes or committing to causes for personal gain. That's the only thing that I have here that is of the tiniest bit concern for me. Remember, you're not trying to heal to get something. You're trying to heal so you can be well because you deserve to be well. The time of guilt and shame ends now. I think sometimes you might struggle with the idea of I'm too broken to be a person. That like, if I'm healing and I'm healing and I'm healing, how injured was I? Other people seem to not be perfect and still have everything. They don't really. It doesn't make them happy. If you look at somebody and you're like, I wish I had everything that they have, you actually don't know everything they have. People conceal the pain in their lives, the dissatisfaction. There are people in the area that I live who have so much money, but it's often they're not particularly happy because money is not actually happiness. I think that you believe that there has been a judgment with this judgment energy from some exterior force about your worth. Your worth is not contained in your emotional health. Your worth is undeniable. It is solid. It is without question. It is never changing. You have great worth, but you had an injury and it's taking a long time to heal. And when something does happen, you have to, the red flag you're being asked to be aware of is when things start happening here, because things are going to start happening pretty soon. You just kind of have to keep a checklist of red flags. Patience, oh bless your heart. With acceptance, everything happens for a reason. And then I'm learning to accept the things that I cannot change, and then happiness. I'm aware that being happy means that I'm on the right track. Listen, I'm a keyword reader, and I rarely read these little cards underneath. Patience, acceptance, and happiness. This is a card of falling in love and of progress and of everything swift and wonderful and of communication. If you kind of feel like maybe I'm just done, maybe I don't get anything else, maybe this is just my life till the end of the time, it's not. And please stop taking responsibility for damage you didn't inflict upon yourself. You might have perpetuated it through some choices, but you are learning to be more discerning. There is love coming to you. You fear it at the same level you crave it. That's what this looks like to me. Like you want something, but you also fear it. And the red flag, I'm not quite sure why you clicked on the reading because I don't think you're missing red flags as much as you're being reminded that you're not trying to complete a checklist. Healing is not a chore. Healing is to make you feel better and to make you happy, to make you joyful, to make you part of this great life. Playfulness. To recapture romance, allow your inner youthful spirit of fun to shine. I'm not positive that you approach life as being fun. That is not your fault either. Remember, if you've had a difficult road, it can impact how you view life. Instead of like, life's a great big banquet, you might think, oh gosh, life is a never-ending gauntlet. Life is not a gauntlet, but we will meet challenges along the way. Your red flags are quite simply, it's happening soon and you need to practice discernment. In the meantime, patience is being called for. The truth that you are facing is quite simply that being allowed time to heal is a gift. It's a gift. It does not mean you're broken. It does not mean you're hideously deformed in the eyes of the divine. The divine and your spirit team and everything beyond has conspired to try and help you. Fear and anxiety, healing old wounds. Let's get a couple more. This is almost an energy of giving up. Like you get to the point where you just want it to be over because you're so tired of how long everything has taken. That Knight of Pentacles in reverse, the Knight of Pentacles in the upright is always a slow process. In reverse, it's like nothing is happening. What can I do? Again, don't think of doing, think of being. Don't think of doing, think of being. This is not a degree that you're trying to earn. Being healed is about being happy. And if you're not happy right now, First of all, that simply points to that need for the 7-7, which is the managed change, to make changes in the way you view your healing journey as an opportunity to love you and to, if you have struggled with the feeling that you're lovable, spiritual protection, and then generous offer, and I want one more with that, healthy boundaries. You've got something coming up. You've got something coming up. And you are, it's like you're healed enough to get off the crutches, but you're still going to physical therapy. You need to check in with your process regularly. You have something coming up. I think the biggest red flag here is that you're viewing the, like, if you get the card patience in a reading, you're like, oh God, still more? Instead of saying like, yeah, I do feel better. When you get patience, and then what was the other one? This is acceptance and happiness. This is hard to understand, but until such time as you are healed at the level that your spiritual protection and your spiritual team is trying to bring to you, happiness will be fleeting because the wound will resurface. And that's why things don't happen as quickly as we want them to sometimes on a healing journey. I'm going to take from Teacher's Deck. There's a link to purchase it in the description box down below if you would like to. I don't receive anything if you do. I just happen to like the deck, and it was created by one of my clients, and so she sent it to me, and I told her if I liked it, I would use it, and I'm still using it. And I kind of promote it. Oh, envious jealousy. Oh dear. Apparently you can't spell friend without N, so that about sums it up. And then a succubus incubus. I think somebody who's not the right person is trying to enter your life. Hi, haters, and then, hell no. You may have had a series of, like, these are lessons that might have already crossed your path. I think that's the red flag here, is that you think of them as tests that you're failing rather than opportunities to heal and develop strong boundaries. Listen, every now and then we have to say no with confidence. Every now and then we have to have the understanding that we have the absolute right to emotional safety, and we need to be the person reinforcing it. And it does feel like the universe tests us sometimes. But here's the thing, it's not testing us in a way that we can fail. It is illustrating a lesson to us. It is not a test as in, here's a piece of paper, fill out everything you know, have you passed or have you failed? It is, here is an opportunity to exercise all of the skills that you have been learning. How's your process going? How do you feel about yourself after that? Do you feel as if you've expanded and grown? Are you celebrating your healing rather than viewing it as a long chore list to get through? Try to celebrate it a bit more. Be happy with the idea that you are healing because it means things are getting better. Now that a difficult path is being revealed, listen, there is this energy of something coming towards you. This is the Page of Wands in the upright. An enormous Page of Wands in the upright with two little cows beside them. Something is coming towards you, and it might not be the right thing for you. And you're being asked to use your own discernment. Now, if you kind of put it through your rigorous process around, is this the right thing for me? And it passes, then hooray. But there is this kind of, the time of guilt and shame ends now. I think you have shame about the need to heal. Remember, you're not the person who hurt you. Like, that's almost always from formative experience. Please don't take responsibility for it at the level of, well, if I was any type of strong person, I'd have healed by now. No. Like, abuse victims suffer from very poor boundaries, and it can take a lot to learn how to have them. And I will share with you that almost every day I have to tell somebody no, because they want me to do things that, like, because they want it. And I have to say no, and I've had to become very, very comfortable with, like, just not torturing myself with whether or not I was right to say no. Boundaries are healthy. And understanding that all of these opportunities to learn lessons are about making you healthier so you can have everything. Your progress is going to pick up a little bit again. And you have something coming towards you that you're going to need to use your discernment. and you need to be aware of keeping an eye out for red flags. And I'm telling you, I like you. Someone likes you. Romance is blooming. Fun, flirting, and want to date. Paradise, happiness, expansion, joy, playfulness, oneness, enjoying each other. And then I have the golden mirror. Self-absorbed, narcissist, one-sided relationship, and love bombing with clock. Needs time, takes time, and cycles time to heal and progress. I attract a lot of people who have a lot of formative damage, and it's because I have like amazing amounts of it. I am well. It is possible to heal, but the children of narcissists often have very, very, very damaged self-worth because they were told that they did not have a lot of worth. They were used as emotional punching bags. There's a lot of reasons behind this. Please view healing as the way things get better rather than the chore list that you're trying to complete. Let's go ahead and get a messages of love. What's going on for pile number 4? Your red flags are in the future, but it's also the red flag, the truth that you aren't facing is healing is not about getting it over with so it can be done. It is about an everyday process of incremental progress as you feel better and better about your life, your place in it. Think of it as triumph, not as failure. You are triumphing over the wounds of the past, the people who have damaged you. You are becoming a warrior, a king in your own life, learning how to be your own advocate. We have lesson. This person is in your life to teach you a spiritual lesson with stability. The relationship can stand the test of time, and apology. You can expect to hear the apology you want to hear with mastery. You've learned the spiritual lesson. You got something coming up, number 4, and you're either going to be hyper vigilant about red flags and very on edge, or you might tip over into the thank goodness it's finally over, hooray, and be a little bit blind to things. I have no reason to believe the blindness thing. I think if anything, you're going to have a very hard time relaxing. You may be healing from past relationships that were one-sided. You may have been involved with a narcissist at some point. You may have been raised by one. If that sustained a lot of emotional damage, you have a lot of dissatisfaction with, I'm hitting the wall here. It is a misunderstanding, but I think you may be misunderstanding the pace of your journey because I think you believe that it's that you're failing. The 7 of Pentacles in reverse is the only time I see it as failure. And that's in your imagination and in the way that you view things. Healing is an opportunity for everything to get better. Try and view the process through life of, I still don't have what I want. My God, how long is this going to take? Rather, you know what? I feel so much better than I did this time last year. You know what? I do have more confidence. You know what? I can see my progress. My gosh, I'm really celebrating my own strength, which is part of self-love. It's not about self-aggrandizement, but remember this time of healing is not because you are broken and unworthy. Rather, something in this universe loves you so much that it wants to hold your hand all the way through your process and keeps telling you, we're here. That judgment energy is the card of spiritual guidance as well. We're here and we're not leaving your side. You will never actually be abandoned. Please stop thinking that you're flawed because you're healing. You are in fact supported and celebrated at a divine level when something is guiding you through a healing journey. And if something took years to put into place, it takes a little while to dismantle it and to heal over that wound and to build the version of you that you started out to be that somebody else interfered with. And that's what your healing journey is. That's what your healing journey is. The red flags that you are missing in the hidden truth of this situation is you're forgetting that healing is not about something that you can accomplish so that you can have life again. It is the thing that makes life better and better as you go. Okay? Group number 4, that was your message. Take care. Be well.